What's happening, people? Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's well, hope everybody's good. And we have the match preview for the game in a few hours, just a few hours against Crystal Palace. So we thought, why not bring former Crystal Palace winger John Salako. John, how are you doing? Everything good?
Saeed, I'm great, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to it. This is arguably the biggest game fan-wise at Palace. You know, the United game is huge because you've got so many supporters everywhere, especially in London.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, this got rescheduled. I remember last time we did a video. We kind of talked about this game because it was meant to be the game we were meant to play, and obviously it got rescheduled because of the Queen's passing. So yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting game. How are you feeling, John? Because we're on a bit of a good run. You guys are sitting in 12th, but I think you've got like 4 losses out of the last 5 games.
5 out of 6.
Been great for Palace.
Yeah. No, it's been a really bad run. So, you know, the last game we beat West Ham away, and then Nottingham Forest was the last game, I think, like mid-November was the last game before the World Cup. I think it was the 22nd of November. And, you know, Zaha missed as a penalty. And then they, you know, from then on, we should have gone and cruised that game. He missed his Forest are stubborn. They're spirited, and they've got a bit of team spirit and a bit of confidence, signed a lot of players. But, you know, Gibbs White in there is a sensation. You know, they've made some good signs, beginning to settle down. And that was a massive win, 1-0 for Forest. And you have this break and really enjoyed the World Cup. You know, loved it. Shame England couldn't go a bit further. But overall, thought it was a fantastic tournament. And then, you know, we all got excited about playing Fulham on Boxing Day, you know, 6 weeks off. And, you know, thought to come back. Fulham, a good side. That, you know, they're fantastic. Mitrovic obviously went to the World Cup. He's firing. He was fully fit. And they were sensational on the day. You know, they overpowered us. And we just never turned up. And got beat 3-0. Obviously, Mitchell gets sent off for a reckless tackle just before half time. And do you know what? It's dubious as well. There's been a couple of tackles. João Felix and Mitchell, I didn't think personally were sending offs. You know, it goes back to, you know, we wanted to ban that old school tackle where you come from distance, you're off the ground, your studs are showing, you're out of control, and you know you can do some real damage, and there's intent there. I thought that's what that straight red was, and now it's kind of like you make these challenges and they look bad, and you get this reaction from the player. But when you look at João Felix and the Mitchell tackles, they also, you know, it's that one where it gets away from you and you react and you lunge. But both of them were not reckless. There was no intent, and they were never going to damage the player. You know, the player, if you catch someone, it's going to hurt, and you roll around and players make a meal of it. But you look at it on VAR and you think, where's the intent? Even João Felix has started pulling his foot away.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You saw in that Fulham game. So, and then Tompkins, you know, he puts his arm out and Mitrovic dives on the floor and rolls around, and the ref is like, oh, come on. And then, you know, we've gone into games, and obviously you know, Spurs, we were in their first half and played quite well. Southampton again played well and did finish in our chances. So, you know, we're losing games. Even Chelsea on Sunday, I was there, and we're just toothless. We need a striker. We need pace. We need Mitrovic. You know, we need someone playing up front that you can get the ball into, can stretch the teams and create problems. So, you know, Zaha playing up front doesn't work for me. You know, Zaha's better off wide and getting the ball to him and creating problems.
Yeah.
And we've got Mateta, Edouard, and Ayew. You know, and they're shy of goals. I mean, Zaha's got 6, Ayew's got 3, Eze's got 3. Edouard's got 3. Mateta's got 1. Elise's got 1. So we haven't got goals. Where you look at Man United are flying now, and there's one big reason. You know, Rashford. I think he scored 7 games on the trot, or 8 games at home, 9 overall. He's just come back from the World Cup, and he's playing to his potential. He's always been an absolute superstar. He had that little down period where I think, you know, things got a bit complicated in his head, but he's playing with freedom. And obviously Casemiro's been an absolute star for you guys. He's been brilliant, and Fred and Casemiro sitting in there, and then it frees up Eriksen, because you remember, seems like yesterday you got beat 4-0 at Brentford, and you know,
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
And you know, Ten Hag is now showing his quality. He's showing how good a strong manager, and it's strong management. And you had to get rid of deadwood. You had to get rid of bad characters. And now he's got his own team. Basaka's come back in playing at right back. And Luke Shaw at left centre half. He's been a revelation with Viera, and Ten Hag was talking about that. I've got solid two now. De Gea. So, you got Maguire, Lindelof, Bailly, and, sat on the bench, and Martinez. And you're thinking a World Cup winner sat on the bench, and Luke Shaw's playing centre half. But listen, against against the best, it worked. He certainly kept Man City quiet, didn't he?
Absolutely. It's been a strange because, like I said, we started off the season very poorly, but we're looking very strong now. Patrick Viera, obviously, he'd want to do one over United with the history with Arsenal and etc. But what's not going well? Sorry,
you're talking about Pizzagate.
Yeah, Pizzagate. Yeah.
I love that. When Keown and Viera and the boys came up to United, it's brilliant.
Honestly. So
in there,
yeah, he'd want some kind of vengeance, with United and whatnot. But have you got this firm belief tonight that you can get something tonight, or is it a case of Zaha firing? You've got Eze, you've got some young players in Elise who are very dangerous on their day. So what's your hope tonight that Crystal Palace can do? Where can you hurt Man United, do you think?
Yeah, well, the biggest one, I know that Casemiro's on 4 cards, so we might leave him out and save him for Arsenal at the weekend. So, one, I'm praying for that. I'm praying for Rashford to have a bug and not
Yeah.
and then, really from our point of view, you hope Man United don't turn up. The way you're playing, the confidence, I think you've won 12 out of the last 13. It's like on a roll. That win against City, it's so much confidence flowing through the side. But, we beat you 1-0 at the end of last season, but it's a totally different side where Ronaldo didn't come and play, and you've got rid of all that baggage now. So it's a different United, but, we're hoping you're going to come to South London. It's cold. Our fans are going to be on top. Our boys are going to come out, and, we have got to perform. We have got, and I'm hoping Anderson's going to be fit. He limped off against Chelsea, but Anderson, Gueye, Tyreek Mitchell and Klein, that back four, and then Schlupp and Decore midfield with, and then we need Elise Eze to be firing, and Zaha. They've got to be at their best tonight, and they need a performance. They owe the crowd a performance. So, as I was sort of alluding to earlier, we haven't really got going this season, and especially after the World Cup, we haven't gelled, we haven't performed consistently for long enough periods. In little patches we played well. But yeah, Elise Eze, Zaha, they've got to bring it and really show how good of players they are. And, when they play, they're formidable and they can hurt teams. So that home form is crucial, because we play Newcastle at home Saturday at home. Then we come to United on the Wednesday. The following week. So, wow, so that's a tough period. Then I think we've got Brighton, Brentford, Villa, then we've got Liverpool, City and Arsenal. So really tough run now where, do you know what, if we can get a point, as you said, what do I hope for? I hope Man United don't really turn up and the boys play well. I see a draw, but the way United are playing, I'll take that draw all day long, but obviously we're desperate for 3 points.
Absolutely. Apparently there's reports of Anderson being out for 3 weeks, with the injury. That's a massive blow for Crystal Palace. I think he's a top defender. If I'm looking at a centre-back out there that Crystal Palace may lose in the summer, it's Anderson, because he's been a phenomenal signing, very, very aggressive centre-back. Are you worried about that in terms of the back line as well? You have been leaking in goals. You considered, was it 4 against Tottenham? So that's a big blow.
Yeah, it's massive. I can't tell you how big it, sort of that Gueye and Anderson. Anderson's been absolutely sensational. He's like a Rolls Royce. And like you said, I don't like talking about it too much, but there must be a lot of people out there looking at him thinking, yeah, I like him. He's good in the air. He's strong. He matches up. He leads that line well, and he can pass the ball. He's got great feet, and he's good in the other opposition box as well. So, tremendous player. And it's going to be a massive blow, because we had Gueye out. And Tompkins obviously came in and he just wasn't up to speed, and it's massive. It's so important. So that's going to be a massive loss. I was waiting for an update on that. To lose. So we either have Tompkins or you got Chris Richards, who we brought in, and I'm not sure why Chris Richards hasn't played enough, but I like him when I've seen him. Not sure Tompkins is still at this level. And playing up against Martial, if he's up front, you know, you've got Rashford just and for that Fernandez, you know, dovetailing and Eriksen pulling the strings in this. And obviously Rashford now is on his bike, and I love his positivity and the way he runs at defenders. So yeah, without a doubt, Anderson's going to be a massive, massive miss for us. You know, Guita's been our best player by far. He makes 4 or 5, maybe even 6 or 7.
He's an underrated keeper, you know.
Unbelievable saves. All right. Look, he made a couple of mistakes against Southampton in the cup. You know, Joel Ward ducks under one. He sort of anticipated, goes in top corner. Then he you know, that negativity of going back to him, and he's not, you know, any keeper can get that wrong. But he came back at Chelsea on Sunday and was fantastic. He made 3 or 4 unbelievable saves to keep us in the game. So, yeah, that's a massive blow tonight. So, you know, if Tompkins comes in, you know, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Abaid, for the super chat. It goes, GG, Saeed, you got the best of us this time. I will say you caught us at the worst, but this is not an excuse. Big love, brother. Keep the energy for the next time. Abaid is a City fan. He's still sad about last week's defeat to Man City. So, yeah. But yeah, sorry, you were going to say.
Yeah, do you know what? I mean, it was, again, that's the difference between Man United now, where Ten Hag's got the players. And you know what he's talking about, Garnacho, what he's doing. He looks sensational. And he's prepared to say to Maguire, to Lindelof, to Martinez, you know, yeah, he's sitting on the bench. You know, whoever does the business is playing, and whoever's got the right attitude. So people like Sancho, you know, you're saying you're not coming with the team. You know, you've got to earn the right, and you got to have the right mental attitude to pull on that Man United shirt. You know, for me, the biggest club in the world, and you know, it's such an honour to come out Old Trafford, and you know, obviously, you know, Man United have been a bane of my career, because you know that 1990 Cup finals, you know, Alex Ferguson would have got the sack, but he flew from there and was the greatest manager we've seen in the Premier League, and certainly United, and phenomenal. But he had character, he had leaders, he had people who wanted to play and run around. And the biggest thing Man United have always had is that energy and that fitness and that desire, first and foremost. Then the skill came out. Then Giggs would do something, Beckham would do something, Dwight York or Van Nistelrooy, or you know, Kanchelskis, or you know, some of and Scholes in there with, but they had the grit. You know, Keno, you know, they made sure they earned the right to win games, and that's what Ten Hag's trying to instill, and that's what Viera's got to get into this Palace side. And as much as we want to play out the back, keep possession, and look, you know, nicey, we need a striker who can run beyond. We need midfielders who've got energy, like Conor Gallagher. I don't know if he can come back. You know, we need fullbacks that can get forward and tuck back in and join in. But in midfield, we've got to shore it up. But first and foremost, we've got to match the opposition. And against that top 4, top 6 sides, you've got to bring that first and foremost. You've got to have that energy, that desire, you know, and frustrate those big teams.
What's your home record like this season at Selhurst Park? What's it like?
Yeah, well, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't. You're beating Wolves. You're coming back from behind as well and winning games.
You know what? It's unbelievable. So Villa was the first proper performance where we went 1-0 down, and you know, we managed to come back and win that 3-1. That was an awesome performance. Great second half. We kept our foot on the gas. But you know, you look at Wolves at home. We went 1-0 down. You know, Neves, you know, hits the post. I mean, you know, Guita's beaten, and it comes flush off the post. It could have gone 2-0 up. Leeds at home. You know, Bamford goes through 1-on-1, you know, make it 2-0. Guita, big save. So, you know, you look at those games, even Southampton at home, you know, we rode our luck at times and managed to go and get goals and finish the game strong. So, you know, they were big wins. You know, Brentford, you know, they hit the post. Rico Henry hits the crossbar in the last minute. You know, they brought Wieser on. You know, you've got Ivan Toney, but in Buemo, you look at, that's what I'm saying. Those sides that are doing well, Fulham have got Mitrovic, and they've got Willian, and they've got Dekodova Reed, and you know, Brentford have got Mboma, Wieser, and Toney. You know, they can hurt teams, and that's why they're winning games, and they should have beaten us. So there's 4 games there that, you know, we got a lot out of, but could have easily lost. And then, you know, coming back after the World Cup break, you know, it's just glaring that this window, I think there's about 14 days to go. We need strikers. We need that pace, because, I think, there's a couple of players we've bounded about, but certainly now's the time that we do need those reinforcements, 2 or 3 to come in to shake this squad up and give us that lift we need. Because there's a tough spell coming up. And although, in the last 10 games, I think we only played Spurs in the top half of the league. But you know what it's like in the last 10 games, everyone's fighting for their lives. So, everything changes. So we just don't want to be in that position.
Absolutely. I'm not sad you won, and I'm not acknowledging it. I came at you for a while, and I'm not running away. Good game, brother. Yeah, man. Big up to you, man. It's going to be, I'm just kind of like, I feel like a lot of United fans have maybe a little bit disrespected this game because we've got a game against Arsenal. We're kind of almost dismissing this game, where I'm starting to get back to reality now. This is always a tough game. We always win here by the odd goal. You know what I mean? Last season was obviously, we were down and out, and Crystal Palace outdone us, they outworked us. I think a couple of seasons before that, I think the last time we won there was lockdown, maybe 2020, 3-1 win. Before that, it was, so it's always a tough ground, Sellers Park. The crowd get on top of you, and now Viera will want something to prove. So I think it's going to be a very, very fascinating game. And I think for me, we've got to be professional. I'd come out here with a 1-0 win because I know you just never know with Crystal Palace. On their day, Eze, Olise, these guys are very good players on their day. But again, it's just kind of what the tactics will be, isn't it? So it's going to be a fascinating game. And like you guys, you're 7 points adrift, safety. You don't want to be losing games just like that, because then all of a sudden you're back into the relegation zone. You don't want that, do you?
Yeah, because everyone's winning. It's such a tight league. I think there's this weird thing because it's the World Cup and, the season. It's just unprecedented. It's just different. And, the Queen dying, then this game postponed and dragged it on. Now Pele, so, it just feels very strange and starting up again. And now we're in a transfer window and, our players have got to wake up, and that, that's what we've got to hope. We've got to hope that Man United, you're in the semi-final of the EFL. You've got Reading in the FA Cup, and you've got Forest in the semi-final. You're starting to you're still in the Europa League. You're fighting on many fronts, and all of a sudden now you're thinking, wow, top 4. You want to go and finish maybe behind whoever finishes top, but you're looking at it thinking, well, do you know what? A win tonight, you go above City, and if Arsenal blow up, you're thinking, wow, could we
Don't get me excited. Don't get me excited. One game at a time. Are you thinking that we can win it? Could you believe that we can do it?
No. Personally, I think Arsenal have got the bit between their teeth. I think they will definitely be right up there. I still think City will put a good enough run in. But you know what? There's no reason why you can't go and create a 3-horse race. Why not? It's that weird. And I'm saying for everyone, even down the bottom, Forest are buying and winning. I think Bournemouth are probably in trouble. Myself, Southampton looks as though they were in trouble. Then beat City, and then you think, wow. Then they go and win. They beat Everton. All of a sudden, Forest are winning. Southampton are winning. Everton, I think, will win games. So, the sooner we can get, towards that 40-point mark, the better. Because the first game against Arsenal were awesome. They've been fantastic, and then we lost. So before the World Cup, we lost to Arsenal and Chelsea at home. The rest were draws and wins. So we've done really well at home, and I've always said, in the Premier League, you've got to make your home a fortress. That's where you
absolutely.
But we don't live in a world of competing against Man United. But we'll take a point. We'll take a win if we can, and we just hope that Man United are a little bit complacent. They're underestimate Palace. They come down, it's cold, and they just want to get back on that from that flight back up to Big NL probably, and back up onto that plane and back up there, and just go and look at the Arsenal game, because not being funny, and we're just talking about you beat Arsenal at the weekend, then perhaps we're talking about you're beating City, you're beating Arsenal. We're in a race. We're in the title race, and you will be, because you know what it's like. The last 10 games, I mean, do you remember when Newcastle were running away with it with Keegan and Fergie? 9 games. The only thing is, that's the only disappointing thing, but I'd like Ten Hag to be a little bit more, playing those games. But Arteta, I mean, the days of Mourinho and Ferguson and Wenger and, going toe to toe, I miss those days. I miss those managers. But, at the moment, Arteta's just taking every game it comes, and so is Ten Hag. But listen, I think you've lost one in 18. You won 12 out of 13. You're on a roll. You need your squad. That's where you're going to need everyone. You're going to need your Elangers. You need you need everyone pulling together, because you need the whole squad firing, because there's a lot of games coming between.
A lot of games, and I love it. I love it. I love that the games come thick and fast.
It's great. I mean, as you know, you were Bane in my career. 90 Cup final replay. 94 semi-final Villa Park replay. 15-16 as a coach, Wembley. Mata and Lingard break our hearts. Before Van Gaal leaves. But yeah, so Man United are a pain in the butt to me. But
so you want to win today? This is it. And like I said,
I'll take anything against United. Obviously, look, you're a great side. You're doing very well, and hopefully we'll put a performance in and get a result.
Just the kind of situation on Rashford. He's the man now in form. Are you surprised by the turnaround in Rashford because of how it went last season and the way it kind of went? Are you surprised?
Do you know, I'm not surprised about what he's doing now. I was surprised about what he didn't do before, because I don't really know. Obviously, look, you've had a lot of, I don't know, I think poisonous apples in your dressing room. Pogba was no good. I think the Ronaldo thing was just a disaster. But obviously, from a financial point of view, it was good for the share value or whatever. But there's a lot of players that that in that dressing room that wouldn't have helped. Obviously the Mason Greenwood thing, and when you look at Lingard, to be fair, I don't think was a good influence on Rashford. And I think, obviously the work he's done behind the scenes with the, feeding the children, it's just incredible. But there was a lot of me that was like, Marcus, you're young, you're going to a World Cup, just get your head down, play your football. You're at Man United. Let people do that other side for it. It's great you do your charity work. It's great that you're involved, have your foundation and do all that work. But it takes too much out of you. Alex Ferguson didn't like them doing stuff. Rooney's goes and does his coaching school. Beckham's, you're a footballer or you're a pop star, or what are you? You're celebrity, your Stams. And, he never really stood for people doing too much. And I thought, when you're at a big, huge club like Man United, you got to concentrate on playing and being the best player you can, because it's a very small window. So now his head's back on it. And he's in a team, and he's got a manager that believes in him, and he's talking to him, and that man management is saying, come on, you've got to train, because you can't turn it on and off. No matter what, only Maradona probably could, and Pele, and the greats can turn it on and off. But Marcus Rashford isn't, we haven't got any players, you can't turn it on and off. And now he's focused, he's driven, he's getting goals, and goals feed your confidence and your belief. But what I love most of all is the way he's driving at players. He's running at pace. He can chop inside out, and he's causing sorts of problems. And that's what I want to see. That's what we want to see in the Premier League. People taking people on at pace with skill and, with balance, and then, being in the right place and finishing them off. He's always had that. So that doesn't surprise me, because he's phenomenal. But the downside was, worry. But he's through that now.
Who would be playing your right back? Would it be Klein or would it be Ward?
Yeah, Klein played the last couple of games, and he's done well. He's done well there, so I expect Klein to play right back. So Marcus does like pulling it into that channel and playing up against him. Wardy's phenomenal servant and a fantastic pro, but he's just getting a bit leggy, and so we need Aaron Bissaka back. So.
Well,
he's come back.
He's come back, and he's one of our best players now, performing players as well. It's crazy.
He's another one that he's come in. I thought it might have been a bit too much for him, but he was flying, and then he's had his struggles, but he's back and he's playing really well. And I say, you got Luke Shaw there, and I really like Malacia at left back. And I was wondering, Malacia's too good to be sat on the bench, and Ten Hag must have looked at it and said, sure, you can play in there, even against Haaland and, against Alvarez and the likes of Man City. But he's come in, he's just calm, isn't he? Yeah. And I think Shaw at left back, he underperforms for me. He doesn't do enough as a getting up and down, which he can. So centre half kind of suits him, because he's got pace. He's got a great head. He's got a great defending, footballing brain. And it's almost perfect. He's left-footed. He's in that channel. you know, and you've got Varane, and it's working really well, and it's a nice balance. And I think that really shoots Luke Shaw, because he can just sit in there and just play. And he can play out the back. He can get it off De Gea and thread it into Casemiro and go through midfield. So that's worked really well. But you know, Conor Gallagher and Bissaka would have been great in this transfer.
Yeah.
And a striker, you know, we need someone that can go and cause some problems and some pace. But you know, they're hard to find. It's what everyone's looking for. But they are out there. They certainly are. But the ones I would like, you know, I don't know if, you know, the boys are definitely working behind the scenes to try and bring people in. It's a tough window to work.
Tough, yeah. January's not easy, you know. It's not a lot of money around, and obviously players and teams then put players at a premium price. So you then don't want to overspend, because then you might get them for cheaper in the summer. So it's like it's a catch-22, isn't it? Obviously, you're going to the game. It's going to be packed out, Sellers Park. What's your thinking prediction-wise? You know what I mean? Obviously, you'd like to help Man United and me, but obviously you're going to back your team, your boyhood team. But yeah, what are you thinking?
Yeah, tight, horrible game. 1-1, I'm going to go for. And go, you know, maybe Palace to take the lead. And then Man United maybe sneak an equaliser. And that'll do for me. You know, maybe, going to be, you know, I want, you know, obviously want Marcus to do well, but, you know, runs, you know, records are there to be broken and to come to an end. So they have to end sometime. You know, this ridiculous run of 12 wins in 13 has got to come to an end.
Well, listen, let's hope not. But honestly, good luck for the rest. Good luck for the rest of the season. And like I said, massive game. You guys need to get something out of it, because this is very, very much dog eat dog now. It's going to be a crazy end to the season. But John, I appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we'll get you sometime soon again.
Brilliant. You're doing a great job. Great show. Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you very much. Guys, make sure you go follow John Salako on Twitter, Instagram, all of that good stuff. John, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it, people. We've just got John in there for the match preview, people. It's going to be a tough game, man. It's going to be a very, very tough game. Kickoff less than 4 hours away. Just shy of 4 hours away. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Big up to everybody who's been locked in. I will be back for the watch-along. What I'm going to do, guys, is I need everyone to like the video on the watch-along, because we need to get to 100 likes before the stream starts. If you could do that, that would be amazing. So, guys, I'm going to put the link in right now. 1 second, people. Let me just put the link in here in the chat. Yeah, guys, can you go head over on this link right now, and please head over there and like the video. Big game. I need every United fan to be in the watch along. I'm live from 7 p.m. people. 7 p.m. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be energy. It's going to be a big one. And you know what, man? I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit slightly nervous. I don't know what it is, you know. I just feel like, for me, I want to be on that Crystal Palace game, want to get it over and done with, and get to Arsenal and absolutely do them over. That's what I want to do. Let's win this game, and let's go to Arsenal game with a bit between our teeth, fired up for it. It's on Sunday, so there's enough rest. No tiredness, no all of that stuff. Enough rest, and we go win that game, people. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. Make sure, guys, I'll see you at 7 p.m. Everybody go to that link right now. There's over 350 of you in the chat. If we get at least 100 likes on that video right there, that'll be amazing. So everybody go. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. But yeah, guys, head over there right now, and I'll see you for the stream later on, people. It's been a good one, man. Big up John Salako for coming on. Take care, guys.